Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 462, Don't Be a Simp. I don't know if everybody knows what a simp is, but this is kind of a new term, and I kind of like it actually. And so, yesterday in my video I talked about what does it mean, like what does love mean? And it's not an emotion like everybody thinks it is. Oh, I feel like I love this person, or like deep down in my heart I know that I love this person. That's not love. The Catholic definition of love is willing the good of the other, meaning doing what's right by them, giving to the other what they need and not what they necessarily want. Now, here's a secret I'm going to let out, and I'm sure a lot of you already know it, but sometimes women request things that they don't want. I call that female lizard brain. Sometimes their brains ask for things that are like not necessarily for their good or the good of the family. And they'll make requests and say that they really want it, even though they don't really want it. And the reason is woman needs to push against man, and she needs to see how capable and competent and strong he is. And so when she makes these requests, deep down in her heart of hearts, she's actually looking for a no answer. Now, this is going to drive some people insane, and frankly, I don't care. It's just my thought, okay? So, but the thing is, woman pushes against man to see how strong he is, how competent, and how much he's willing to fight. And the reason why that is because if you're not willing to fight her or say no to her or stand up to her, are you really willing to stand up for to the world when it really matters? You know, when the tanks roll or the wolves come knocking at the door or somebody comes into the house that doesn't belong there. Like, you need to be tough enough to hold your ground and say, no, that's not good for you. It's not for your good. It's only what you want. It's not necessarily good for the family either. And that's something that women do. It's called competency testing. And there's a colloquial term. It's called shit testing. Where they give you crap and see if you can take it. Now, if a guy gives in every single time, right? Like, oh, I want this, I want that deer, oh, I want this deer, I want that deer. That's called being a simp, okay? And those are weak dudes. Now, they give the woman everything that she asks for, but it's not what she necessarily needs. And women, when they have a man like this, they actually don't end up respecting them. They act like they like them in the short term, but in the long term, over and over again, every time he says, yes, dear, whatever you want, dear, they start to lose respect for them. And their respect level goes down. Where a man, if he's if he's a generally charitable spouse who loves his wife, like, he'll allow things to occur in the household. Like, oh, I want this. Okay, you can have that. It's fine. It's for the good of you. It's for the good of the house. Even if sometimes it's a luxury item, he'll allow it. We can afford it. It's not going to break the budget. But when some requests come, like, oh, I want to take a trip around the world, drop out of, you quit your job and like we'll fly around on islands around the world. And no, we can't do that, okay? We're not doing that. A real man will step up and say no when he needs to say no, when it's bad for the family. And over the long term, if you're charitable as a husband in the little things and you provide everything for the needs of the woman and you charitably say no without emotion, when it needs to be said no, then you will gradually earn the respect of the woman. It seems paradoxical, I know it does, but loving somebody is not giving them what they want. It's not falling all over backwards to give her everything that her female lizard brain desires. Loving a woman is literally figuring out what the needs of the woman are and then providing those. And then more than that, for the happiness of the household. I think that's probably the best way to say it. And so, I guess that's all I want to say. I don't really, I think sometimes young men, they think falling all over themselves to like provide for every request of the girl or the woman is what the woman desires, and it's not. You got to do things in bounds and be strong. And I actually have a friend at the wedding of his daughter. He said, I always knew that the husband was for my daughter, because when I heard him tell her no for the first time, I knew he was tough enough to be her spouse. And I think that coming from a good Catholic father, that's really, really good. So men, you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to stand your ground, but you have to do it all directly toward the good, not out of greed or out of laziness, like you're too lazy to go get another job, or you like money too much where you don't want to spend it to make the woman happy. So that's an issue of prudential judgment. But don't be a simp. Be a strong leader of the family, doing what's right by your wife and your children. And that takes real uncomfortable leadership sometimes. And I must say, I have 9 kids. Sometimes I have 9 kids and a wife coming at me. We want this, we want this. No, we can't do that. And I'm not going to answer it again because I'm getting tired of the question. Sometimes the question comes back 3, 4, 5, 10 times. Sometimes you just have to stand your ground. Like, you got to find out what your comfortable place is as a man, but you could say something like, I have broad shoulders, I carry this family, and I'm going to have to make this decision even though nobody likes it, because God gave me the responsibility to care for all of you people. So get back in line. I'm your dad. I love you. Stop bothering me on this issue. Something like that would go good. So don't be a simpy little wimpy guy. That's the destruction of family. Your kids won't respect you. Your wife won't respect you. And paradoxically, if you say no in the right appropriate settings, when it's for the good of the family and you stick to your guns, you'll earn everybody's respect. Well, anyway, this is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the Daily Rosary. God bless you all.